Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be making this presentation to you. My name is Elo Eriri, and I'm the founder and CEO of CarBack. And I just want to spend a couple of minutes discussing with you the practical problems that CarBack seeks to solve. Now, CarBack is the world's pioneer vehicle community security network. Now, community security is accepted globally as a viable and perhaps the superior and zenith security model. But CarBack is bringing the power of technology to make it efficient and maximize the value derivable therefrom. And so our fundamental objective is to maximize the security of vehicles and vehicle users worldwide. Now, there are over 1 billion vehicles worldwide, and there are over 7 billion vehicle users worldwide. So this is a major issue we're trying to address. Now, our fundamental strategy, the tactic that I want to use to accomplish this fundamental objective is to follow this chain of processes. One, to maximize the recovery of stolen vehicles, both old and fresh cases, globally. So, for example, we might have a stock of about maybe 100 million stolen vehicles in circulation globally. 100 million vehicles out of the over 1 billion vehicles in the world, maybe about 10% of the vehicles around are stolen. We want to maximize the recovery of these vehicles. The old ones, the ones that were stolen maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, we want to get them recovered and returned to their owners, and also fresh cases. Now, we also then, in addition to this, we want to make societies too choking for stolen vehicles. That we want to suffocate stolen vehicles in society, make it impossible for them to circulate in society. And this is regardless of where they were stolen and when the theft occurred. So even if a car was stolen in California, if it's presently in the UK or somewhere in Africa, we want to make it impossible for the car to move around freely there without getting detected. Now, we then also want to make stealing vehicles become known to be an effort in futility. That is, we want everybody to understand it. Vehicle thieves and vehicle owners to understand that, look, whoever steals a vehicle is wasting his time. The vehicle will be recovered, and it's thieves and the people who partner with them in their value chain, those who buy the stolen vehicles from them, those who retail the stolen vehicles, the whole supply chain will be uncovered and apprehended. And so when we do these, vehicle theft will drastically decline, and vehicles and vehicle users globally will become gargantuanly more secured. Now, there's a global angle to this. Now, vehicle theft is now an international venture. No country in the world or no region in the world can solve the problem of vehicle theft in isolation. The solution must be global. It must involve international cooperation, and it must involve participation by a plethora array of stakeholders. Now, let's now try and look at some practical problems. Now, we said we want to make vehicles and vehicle users more secured globally, but then let's break this problem of vehicle insecurity to smaller problems that we are trying to solve. Now, the first is that if, as we speak right now, if the police stop a vehicle they suspect is stolen, they have no systematic way to know if it's stolen or not in most countries in the world. Now, this is because most vehicle theft reports are done manually through the filling of certain forms, and then these are deposited in different police stations in a state and in a country. So you have maybe like 3,000 police stations in a country, and you have different records in different stations. So the guys on the field don't have a way of accessing the central record to determine if a car they meet on the field is stolen or not. Consequently, many stolen vehicles drive right past police field teams every day like they're clean. And that's got to stop. Number two, if the police apprehend a gang of thieves and find several vehicles in their custody, and they want to determine who owns them, they have no systematic way of doing this in most countries. And this is weird. I mean, I've seen a couple of adverts on TV saying the police apprehended a gang of thieves in so-and-so place, and then they also found a certain number of vehicles in their custody. And so if anyone has any information as to who owns them, the person should come forward, And to me, that's ridiculous, because the vehicle colors could have changed. They could have changed a lot of stuff on the vehicles, and then the number plates to have changed. How do the owners know theirs? And then the owners may never be. How do the owners even hear about these kind of things? Because not everyone would watch the news at that time, and and the cars could have been from another country. So it's ridiculous when the police apprehend a gang of thieves right now in most countries, they don't even know how to determine who owns the vehicles they find with them. And it's got to stop. And CarBack will stop this too. Number 3, if a mechanic, a vehicle painter, a vehicle electrician, a panel beater is given a vehicle to work on, how do they know if it's stolen or not? There's presently no way in the world right now. In every country, the first two points I raised are for most countries. From now on, it's basically all countries. The points I raised from now on affect basically all countries. And there's presently no way for mechanics. If there is, let us know. There is none for mechanics to determine empirically and discreetly if the vehicles that they work on are stolen or not. And so consequently, stolen vehicles in circulation are being fixed by mechanics and other vehicle repair artisans all over the world, every day, in every country, including today. As I'm talking to you now, there's a stolen vehicle. There are thousands of stolen vehicles right now being fixed by mechanics. It's got to stop. Number 4, if the police want to determine if the engines in the vehicle retail market were taken from stolen vehicles, how do they do this? Because we know that stolen vehicles are often broken down into pieces, and then the parts are sold off. Now the engines, the police should have the capacity to go into a market where they sell fairly used engines and empirically determine if the engines there are stolen or not. Right now, the police have no way to do this. They don't have the capability to do this basically everywhere in the world. And so the retail in engines taken from stolen vehicles is thriving all over the world. As we speak, people bought engines that were taken from stolen vehicles today. They will buy tomorrow. It's got to stop. If retailers of fairly used, number 5, if retailers of fairly used spare parts want to ensure they aren't buying engines from stolen vehicles or the body of a stolen vehicle, how do they do this? So this is an issue. Even the guys who trade in these things, if they say, okay, I'm ethical, I don't want to sell stolen stuff, they have no way to empirically determine when they get this. When someone brings them 20 engines and says, I want to sell these engines, how do they know if these engines are stolen or not? They have no way of knowing. All over the world. Thus, the trade in engines taken from stolen vehicles is thriving globally. It's got to stop. Number 6, if a member of the public wants to buy a fairly used vehicle, how does he ensure he isn't buying a stolen vehicle? Right now in the world, there ain't no way. Thus, people all over the world, good people all over the world, are innocently acquiring and celebrating the acquisition of stolen vehicles en masse. And this is contributing to the robustness and the vibrancy of vehicle theft globally. It's got to stop. Number 7, if fairly used vehicle retailers want to buy vehicles for sale, how do they confirm that these are not stolen? So, I mean, dealers all over the world, when people bring cars to them to buy, how do they confirm that these cars that are brought to them are stolen or not? They have no way right now. So they are stocking up as we speak on stolen vehicles. In fact, today they have stocked up on thousands of stolen vehicles. Gladly. And often they get better bargains on them, so they're even more excited and jubilant about it. So it's happening in every country on earth, every day, including today. Gotta stop too. And number 8, if a member of the public wants to discreetly and empirically determine if a suspicious vehicle is stolen or not, how do they do this? They currently have no way. There's no way. If I see a vehicle parked on my street and I suspect this vehicle is stolen, but I don't have sufficient motivation to want to go to the police because I'm not sure yet, I need to have a way to just discreetly check. There's no way. I have no way now. People all over the world have no way to do this right now. So these 7 billion people in the world could be providing intelligence, a robust quantum of intelligence to security agencies, but then they don't have the power to do this right now. This has got to change too. Number 9, if the customs want to clear fairly used vehicles imported into or exported from their jurisdiction, how do they determine if these vehicles are stolen or not? Presently, there's no way. Thus, there's a vibrant cross-border / intercontinental trade in stolen vehicles. So you have vehicles that are stolen in North America, that are shipped over to Africa or to Europe, and from Europe to North America, from Asia to Africa, it's just happening in all directions and affects all continents because the customs are not empowered right now to ensure that stolen vehicles don't pass through them. It's got to stop. Problem number 10. How do online retailers / online buyers of vehicles, of fairly used vehicles, of used vehicles, determine if they are stolen or not? Right now, there ain't no way. If you doubt me, go on all the major or even non-major online retailers of used vehicles, and you'll see no way to determine if the vehicles that are being vended on these platforms are stolen or not. So people all over the world are buying stolen vehicles online, and people and then online retailers all over the world are putting forward stolen vehicles to be bought. It's got to stop. Number 11, how do insurance companies determine if the vehicles they insure are stolen or not? Presently, there's no way. So stolen vehicles are being insured everywhere, in every country in the world, every day. Today is a Sunday, but tomorrow in Nigeria, but in some other countries, it's not a Sunday. So if it's Friday anywhere, stolen vehicles just got insured that day. And if the electronic insurance platforms, people got insured today, or stolen vehicles got insured today too. So this has got to stop. Number 12, if a vehicle is stolen in New York and shipped to Ghana or to Nigeria or to London or to Germany or to Asia, how do the people, the police and other stakeholders in whatever destination country the stolen vehicle lands in know that the vehicle is stolen? There's no way. So now once you can take a car out of a country, in fact within the same country, the car is safe if you can work on the car, make it look different, and change a couple of things. You can move around in the same country. Talk less of crossing your border. Once you cross the border, it's like a brand new car. The car is born again. The car is reborn. It's got to stop. Now there are many more scenarios and problems, but these 12 that I've enumerated and briefly elucidated on should suffice even to establish the holes in the vehicle security infrastructure globally that CarBack is trying to plug. Now, our approach to solving each of these problems will be outlined in another video. We'll probably use the same slide too, so it can be a targeted video, and then we'll take you from the slide to the CarBack application, and then explain a couple of things and let you know how we plan to address these problems. Now, these problems are deep and pervasive. Most, and in fact, all nations are affected. CarBack is committed to addressing all these problems and more, and to ultimately birth a new era where vehicles all over the world will be maximally safe. Thank you very much for listening.